Sorry about that, to be continued. This is important stuff. Now, Obama betrays us. Now let's talk about this, as this is a bipartisan bill that has swept through freaking Senate and Congress. Look, I was a derivative trader. That's what I did for a living. I was on freaking Wall Street. I worked for a freaking real conservative hedge fund that used to hedge portfolios for the Lung Association, for lots of different groups, as we had the #1 undergraduate finance program in the country right here. A legendary finance professor named Clyde Cooley. So I wanted that very first MBA from him. So I came home, there was a lot of death in the family, you know, a lot of death, leukemia. I was sick of freaking Wall Street's freaking lying ways, and so I came home. And Clyde got mad cow in his head. They burned it right at Stericycle Bountiful. He lived there. And it was tragic. It was tragic. Just mowed him down and killed him. The school was panicking. It was going to be the this was the #1 projected MBA program in the country. You know, so they're panicking. Kevin, you got to step in and teach this. I mean, you're his guy. You got the last letter of recommendation. You're his protege. You know, okay. I says, fuck this University of General Electric. They will fucking slaughter me. I'm an anti-nuclear activist. So anyway, as 9/11 happened, I'm one of the very first guys that traced the money. I'm one of the very first guys that fucking identified they had bought puts on the airline stocks. That's what I did. I hedged port, and they'd bought way out of the money. They made billions, and I'm like, we got them. So I'm one of the first guys that traced it. The money traced right to HSBC in London. I reported that in freaking the early days. I was working with, you know, so-called CIA, freaking FBI. They'd talk to me, whatever. They were going to build a freaking program. Anyway, we knew that it traced to the royal family in Saudi Arabia. We knew that. Now you could get in your ideological. Was Bush in? Of course he was in on. Was freaking Brother Bandar, freaking Dick Cheney. All these people did this incredible work to identify, gave their lives, Bradley Manning, gave their lives, Poor Pink, gave their freaking sacrificed everything to expose the lies. You know, Alex Jones, great work on this. So many of these freaking liars, but, you know, we can get into your hypothesis and your thesis about the whole freaking dynamic, but let's get real. We know the money chase is there. So, Obama, this is a bipartisan bill. This is the great equalizer, and this all ties in nuclearism. Now, you think about this. It passed the Senate 3 days ago unanimously. Nothing gets through the Senate unanimously. You know, because they have a 1976, the act that you can't sue a sovereign wealth fund. And by the way, the United States has one of the few countries that has no sovereign wealth fund, because the wealth belongs to people. But the Saudis, the Rockefellers' baby, Rosemary's baby, we know who put them in fucking power. Standard fucking Oil's Rosemary's baby, Bill Clinton's fucking baby. The whole dynamic there. The most repressive people on the fucking planet. You do know what? They still stone women to death. Cut people's arms. These are your partners. These are your fucking lovers. Brother Bandar. Now it's Barry Bandar. So, let's get real. He stood, as a baby cries, a prince dies. He stood in Riyadh with the Saudi freaking king, as he's the one who covered up Fukushima. He's the one that flew out with the CEO of Jeffrey M. Emery, Melting of General Electric. So we know the money. So I know some of these people that have sued. They're in the courts all over. Their loved one, they're suing. They know, and it's been blocked. So you think about the whole country's for this. This is the betrayer of Barry Obama. He wants to be a royal. Now you think about it, no politician is going to stand up and go against everybody on right, left, everything, everybody on an island. He stands with the Saudi king, not King Salmon, as Obama kills the salmon, which he did it. He's the guy that told the Navy to stand down. I mean, the commander, was he just following the advice of the nuclear cartel that put him in office when he didn't even know what Hanford was? Of course. He stands there and says, you can't do this, this is stupid, this is a mistake. What do you mean it's stupid? The people that freaking funded this, you can't sue them? Of course we could sue them. This is the United States of America. Who do you think you are? Because he thinks he's a monarch. He thinks he's the recurrent king. Then he goes on the 90th birthday of the Queen, as a prince dies, a baby cries. He's there with the new baby. By the way, they're not Brits. You know the English royal family are not British. You know, all roads lead to Vienna. So he stands there and, you know, he's making the royal rounds. Bill Clinton has advised him, just do what I did. How did the Clintons parlay public service into a multi-billion-dollar fortune? Playing ball with the royal elites. You know, it's not Illuminati. These are individuals. These are corporate board members. This is Steve Jobs' wife. This is the Walton family. This is, you know, the board of directors at BP, which is merged with Shell in violation of all American antitrust laws, as Teddy said. He created the Square deal that went to the New Deal that turned into the Ayn Rand Raw Deal. Now you think about this guy. This is a guy we fought so hard to get elected to go after Cheney, to go out. The only reason he ever got elected, is because he was the peace activist. Remember, he was an anti-war guy. What a liar, who's drone more babies and killed more people and killed more whistleblowers and jailed more people than anybody. It's a fact. This guy was a giant liar, a masquerade, because betrayal is the evil of the evil. It's betrayal. He betrayed us. How can he possibly stand there with them and say, no, the entire country wants this, everyone. Senate passes it unanimously. Because what happens, and people, you can disagree with any of this, it's same with the Reagan case down there, as the wheels of injustice in San Diego go on. You know, she ruled 2 years ago against GLA, because what happens, it's the same reason how we got San Onofre shut down. And I says, they're done. They're done because we got a judge that ruled, no, you're not gonna do a 70% restart up without having a fucking full blown out fucking hearings. Look, you don't believe the power of the NRC, the nuclear cartel, fucking Allison McFarland, you know, you don't believe? She told, and the NRC told Barbara Boxer, who is committee chair of the full powers of the United States Constitution, the full powers of transparency, to fuck off. We don't have to turn over anything. These are unelected officials. And the nuclear rallying cheerleaders are just a board. You know, and this, I want to dive into this, that somehow Fukushima, these leaks at Hanford, these leaks at Turkey Point, these leaks, San Onofre's the worst. It's been leaking the entire time. San Onofre's a giant leaking ongoing catastrophe from hell, just keeps going on from the day it was built. Let's build nuclear reactors on Falls, Diablo Canyon, Turkey Point, Oyster Creek, Calhoun. I go on and on and on these catastrophes. The Columbia Nuclear Station, Hanford, I can go on and on and on. I won't stop there. These are catastrophes, but to sit and stay that this is leaking worse than Fukushima is fucking, it's incredible injustice. Look, fact. Fukushima is this. It is Mayak, it is Chernobyl, it is Rocketdyne, it is Santa Susana, it is Rocky Flats, it is the Nevada test site, it is Turkey Point, it is Hanford, it is fucking Oyster Creek, it is 3 Mile Island fucking by 1 billion times. This has never happened as they entomb fucking Chernobyl. Mayak fucking just slaughtering those people in Russia. Fucking the injustice, the Cold War, the propaganda machine, TASS, the Soviet run. No, that's called NBC. The fucking media failed us. You can go in denial all you want about this, and these people that have branded themselves in history. This is a fact. I mean, I'm all over that ocean my whole life since I was a little boy. I'm so connected with the sea, with the environment. I've been an environmentalist my whole fucking life. I'm extremely uneducated because I was born with this atomic fucking brain, this atomic mind. You know, the collapse post Fukushima, because I'm connected to the sea. I know what it looked like before Fukushima. I know what the sea was. The sardines were not eclipsed. They were actually making a hell of a comeback. Monterey Bay. They were making a comeback everywhere. They're collapsed. They're collapsed. The sea lions starved to death by the hundreds of thousands. The fucking whales washing up dead by the fucking hundreds. Never happened. The salmon collapsed. When they built it up, we were supposed to have record runs in 2015, 2016. No, but they go to sea. This is the first batch post Fukushima. And you think, oh, we're just going to grow on farm. You still have to have the egg. People don't understand the ecology. They don't understand it. All they understand is their fake pseudo de facto theology. Look, this is betrayal. This is the event. This is the event that flips the field. Thank you to Alex Jones. Thank you to E&E News on the Fukushima, on the nuclear dynamic. This piece they did on the tritium leaking all over is fucking brilliant. But you don't get tritium. You get scronium. You get fucking plutonium. You get cancer. You get fucking autoimmune deficiencies. You get autism. You get multiple sclerosis. You get all these fucking diseases that mow you down and kill you. How is life not going to 100 years old? We are going backwards. Bypass surgery, organ transplants, the advances in medicine. You know, breast cancer, 98% survival. Juvenile cancer, 99%. How are we headed that way? Because we've poisoned the ecology. We poisoned the fucking sea, the mother of the sea. So you can go to Nile, California, and you can posture and talk, and I never asked anybody to agree with my ways. I never asked anybody to fucking understand my fucking ways. I'm not your lover. I am your friend. I'm something you will never comprehend. Michelangelo, you know, none of those are original. He died miserable. The great avant-garde of all time. Michelangelo, his own friends panty painted over. It had to be this way. This is not a popularity contest. This is a fucking artist, the fucking cancer inmate number 137, the artist formerly known as Blanch, fucking recording fucking history. Because how can you paint, how can you fucking go on fucking Jackson Pollock in the fucking ways, in the old ways, with the old medium, in the old style, in the old granny, in the day of the post the atom bomb, the nuclear bomb, the hydrogen bomb? How can you? How can you paint? How can you make art? How can you be social change? How can you be avant-garde? How can you be the fucking artist that matters in the old ways in post March 11, 2011. You can't. You can't. It changed everything. Fukushima changed everything. This is 15 blown out fucking meltdowns. 15. I'm the first guy that started reporting. I fucking reported that the Zerk fucking pools were blown up and on fire day one. Day one, recorded in fucking history. Says it's going to give you leukemia. Got leukemia. Watch me shrivel up. I mean, I'm in California walking from Mexico to San Francisco in chunks. On the ocean, not the Pacific Trail. By the way, you want to talk Pacific Trail? How about Astro? Astro kept coming to me, but I didn't know who Astro was. Rex can prove this. Rex was with me. He got cancer the same time as I did. He was walking the whole thing, reporting to me. He died on the trail. They made it almost all the way. That astrophysicist at fucking Berkeley is fucking, what an irony, what an incredible story. You can't make these up. Prophecy on Balco, this is not coincidence. This is now, I've always believed. Do I believe it's going to kill the Pacific? No, I don't believe, because I'm one of these fairy tale fucking romantics, a hopeless romantic. I believe in the sea. I believe in the mighty blue lady. I believe there's no match. I believe in our hope for our children. I believe in hope for my grandchildren. I believe as this generation, everybody's asked me for years, how does this end when these stupid, dogmatic, arrogant baby boomers who never grew up, who exploited this land, who fucking sucked up all that equity our parents broke and went into the future, they're all dead and they're killing themselves rapidly. There's a new fucking, generation, but Fukushima will always be there. As I did that in front of the physical graffiti building. Physical graffiti, what a great piece of art. People come and go, the building stands. The radiation stands forever. The fucking human genome adapt, let's hope. But Einstein said it'd take thousands of generations. The cancer epidemic, the CDC calls it an epidemic themselves post-Fukushima. Look what we've done to the future. Look what we've done to the sea. And you go in denial about it and say, oh, I found a little bit of this, that, and every fairy tale all you want because you're above it. No, you're not above it. No, because this is not about your fake pseudo de facto theology. Make it up, God, Jesus. You can just make up your fairy tale tales all you want. God's will illuminate. This is not Illuminati. This illuminates. This is not Illuminati. It is the red sun. Where'd you sleep last night, Kev? I slept in the dead fucking pines. What about all the dead pines in California? You don't want to talk about that. I slept the big ones at Bixby, fucking through Comeria, fucking through all the fucking Morro Bay. They're all fucking big. The big pines. Fuck, the California tell you it's fucking radiation. I slept in the dead fucking pines, where the red sun from Fukushima, Japan, always shines. This is all the same thesis. Barack Obama the betrayer. This fucking is the greatest catastrophe in human history. You go in denial all you fucking want about it in California. Because that's what you know. Oh, the tide pool. No, the tide pools, yeah, they're not all the way dead, and I don't believe the sea's going to go all the way dead. I surely hope not. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? But it's not looking good. I mean, this catastrophe, I've documented it in history in a hardcore way. I always thought somebody would come along, edit my videos, package which lots of so-called keyboard activists promise to do. And then they all fucking, every time I'm walking, going along, trying to post stuff, find fucking Wi-Fi, whatever, hitchhiking, sleeping on park benches, sleeping on the cliffs of Gorda, fucking run out of water, fucking everybody fucking turns away from me because they don't understand me, just the same way they did Michelangelo, the same way they did Pollock, the same way we protest at the moment, we do everything that we fucking done, because this is your ecology. This is literally your biology. Literally. It is everywhere, and I used to say stay on tuna, but it's everywhere and everything, and I still say stay on tuna. I won't anything from the sea. You got to be out of your mind. They issue a warning, urban runoff, and people are still swimming. The lifeguards are telling people fucking, hey, they've issued a warning, you shouldn't be swimming in there. We came and we paid our money to come to Disneyland San Diego. Our kids are swimming. People swimming in San Francisco Harbor. I went over there. There's young cosmopolitan females, because they're elitists in San Francisco, their property value now, swimming their children naked because they think they're Europeans in the Pacific. I said, do you realize how contaminated San Francisco Bay is? It's got nuclear waste all over it. They fucking legally dump the fucking cruise lines energy. Pier 38, 39 is now, you remember how hardcore that was? You know it's now a fucking dock for the cruise lines. So they dump the waste in there. They dump fucking, for years and years and years and decades, just throwing shit in there. You know about, oh yeah. Yet you're still swimming your children naked in there. I consider that child abuse. People don't care because they're that fucking arrogant. Look at me, I live in California, I'm living the dream. I'm living the dream. Look at my fucking property values as we fucking enslave our children who are born and raised in San Diego or San Francisco. They can't even live in their own fucking town. Go serve coffee to us, wash our feet, get a brown person to clean our toilet, sleeping in the fucking marsh at fucking Carlsbad. As the ex-prime minister comes there, and I believe in him, by the way, as he toured with the old urban planner from Harvard, with Gregory Jackal. You've seen the urban planner, which I know Gregory Jackal personally. I know all these people. They've stood down, not him. He's heartbroken. He has guilt. He has guilt. He should have guilt. He told me right to my face. Right to my face. I asked him, how can you be so anti-nuclear when you're the guy that built it up? The United States CIA made me do it. Look, it's the 51st day. It's all being orchestrated by the Department of Energy. Ernest Moxie Fuel went over there. Fucking secret. I was standing in front of the White House giving the inaugural speech to the million when the TEPCO executives retooled the cover-up. Obama fucked up. He fucked up. Gina McCarthy fucked up. Everybody's put their name in print because they thought they could cover up, clean up the bags, let's have the Olympics. They thought they could just go up. This would be my Iraq. This would be Chernobyl. This would be Rocketdyne. This would be fucking Santa Susana. This would be Rocky fucking Flats. This would be 3 Mile fucking Islands. I won't stop there. Not this time, fuckers. No, no, no. There's a fucking new artist in town. There's a new artist town with a YouTube camera named Kevin Blanch. Thank you to Dana Dunford for your fucking work up there on the water. It's important fucking historical work. Thank you to Ian Ames. Thank you to Alex Jones for this great piece he did on the Trinity Marie Aiken reactors as of late. Thank you to everybody who's fought this. The information, the great information artists that have put this out. Stay tuned. This fucking fight is going on to the fucking death. This is a fucking war, and I'm going to fight this fucking war. They try to kill me. They kill my father. They kill Annika. They fucking kill Anna. Oh, fuck no. I'm fighting back. And I'm not doing this Johnny got your gun. I'm doing this with fucking the paintbrush. Stand tuned.